Hi everyone, it's PJ/Rainy Day Gamer, and we are back with another Sims 2 video, this time with the 5 essential mods for returning or new players to The Sims 2. Now, of course, these are my personal favorites, so if you have any suggestions, you can leave them down below. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the first mod we're going to take a look at is the Autonomous Casual Romance mod, and this is probably my favorite of all the mods. It allows your Sims to autonomously engage with each other in romantic interactions, and it helps make relationships more dynamic and unpredictable. It kind of adds a more realistic approach to the attraction system, so like personality, their interests, and physical attributes. It helps with adding new interactions and expanding on existing ones. It's very, very customizable, and it allows you to adjust various settings. So if you have a certain playstyle, you can change settings to fit your needs. So right now I am in game with Don Lothario, and I'm just going to show you how I personally like to set up my settings. So we click on any sim on the lot, we want to click adjust, and then you should have this option casual romance, and we're going to click spawn adjuster. So down here now we have a bunch of phone books, and you can change the look of the adjuster if you don't like this. So if you click on it and go to adjuster, you can change the model to a bunch of different stuff. I usually like doing something like this, like a little plant. So now that we have this and we click on it again, we can see we have a bunch of different settings here. If I go to miscellaneous, you can see we have a pregnancy scanner. We have the take morning after pill, which you can use if somebody is pregnant that you don't want to be pregnant. We also have a gender preference option. Now, what I like to do with this is I usually go to the HUD option, and you can change the percentage of gay and bisexual Sims in your HUD. So with these, I like to keep them on 10%, and if I click on this and I press play, you can see it will give you this little menu to change whatever percentage you'd like. Personally, I like playing with 10%, so I'm going to keep it on that. Now, if I come back here and I go back to gender preference HUD, we see there's a run randomize button here. I'm personally not going to click it because I already have done this, but this will essentially randomize the sexuality of all of your Sims in your HUD at the moment. So if you just want to completely randomize it, you can click that option. Now, another section is the lot settings. So you can go to lot settings, lot type. You can make it normal, church, or brothel, which, yeah, that's an option. Personally, I don't play with these two, so I'm not too sure how they work. So another option is the jealousy override. And you can basically choose if your sim is going to be jealous or not. So if they are a romance sim like Don Lothario, usually I might give them no jealousy because they don't really care about having actual relationships. They just want to woohoo. But if you have a sim who is a family sim, you can just leave it by default. So another setting I go to is the HUD wide setting here. Now, if you come in here, there's 3 different options. The first one is global swishing. Swishing? Switching. And you have a bunch of different options here. So the main ones I like to do is, of course, enable autonomy, so this mod will actually work. I usually disable teen and adult interactions just because it's kind of ew. Teen woohoo is enabled, but I don't have teen pregnancy enabled. And all of these are defaults. Another one I love is booty calls. So if you have this on your lot, sometimes your sim will autonomously booty call another sim that they're interested in, and you know what happens. So then I also disable autonomous try for baby because I only like to have my sims try for baby if they have the want for it. The next one we're going to look at is the global defaults. Here is the settings that I use. So the default risky is set at 10%, and what this means is your female Sims have a 10% chance to get pregnant anytime they woohoo. Of course, you can change this to a different percentage, but this is personally the one that I like to use. Now, the timer multiplier. What this basically means is each time your sim autonomously woohoos, you can set how many days they will wait to woohoo again. So if you set this to 1, they have the option to autonomously woohoo every single day, which sure could be fine, but that could also mean you are going to have a lot of pregnancies in your HUD, and that could cause an issue down the line. So I usually like to keep it at 4 because it kind of spreads it out more evenly. In terms of the other options here, I have these again at 10%, and cinematics you can turn off if you want, like the woohoo cinematic. Require relationship you can change, but these are the only ones that I like to mess around with. One thing to be important about is if you do want the booty calls, you do need this object actively on your lot. Otherwise, you can just leave it as is. You don't need to actually have it on your lot for the mod itself to work. The second mod we're having a look at is probably the most powerful mod. It is called the Sim Blender. So if you download it and come to buy mode, you want to go to miscellaneous again, and you want to look out for this guy. It's the Sim Blender. It's this little tree here by 2 Jeffs, and you can place this down anywhere on your lot. Now, the Sim Blender has so many options that I'm not going to go into all of them because this video could be an hour long, but I'll go through some of the most important ones. So essentially the Sim Blender gives you a bunch of options to manipulate your Sims and either give them more want slots, age them up, change their appearance, give them skills, make them pregnant. There's just so many options that you can do, and it's very helpful if you're like me and you like to micromanage your game. So for example, if I come in here, we can reroll Don's lifetime want. If we go to aging, we can age him by 1 day, 3 days. We can age him to a different age category. We can change his appearance, his aspiration. We can make him a townie or a downtownie, his motives, and we can also teleport Sims over like this. So if I wanted to teleport, let's say Dina Gott, there she is. Very pretty. But yeah, I'm not going to go into much detail about it because again, it really is a huge mod that adds a bunch of cheats for you to use, so highly recommend. So the third mod we're going to take a look at is actually another object here. It's called Monique's Hacked Computer. And essentially this is a computer that you can find anywhere down here. And at the moment I am actually not using a Monique's Hacked computer. Whoops. Let me actually get one of those. So I will have 2 links, the one to the original mod that you need, and then all of these additional meshes for more kind of nicer computers. But essentially this mod adds a bunch of new options, such as letting your Sims open a bank account. And I love using the bank account if you have multiple Sims in a household. If you have roommates, maybe you want to keep their money separate. It allows Sims to work from home in jobs like programming, writing, graphic design, I think is another one. And it also allows your Sims to shop online. So if you want to buy a new outfit, you don't have to go directly to the shop. You can just click on your computer here and go to shop online. And you can really buy anything. You can buy pets, video games, maps, jewelry, and clothing of every kind. Again, you can also do your basic stuff like finding a job, but again, you can do your banking online and auto child banking. I actually haven't tried that out. If you know how that works, let me know. But again, you can take out loans, which is cool. You can deposit money into your account, and it just adds a lot of different options here. Again, there's 2 downloads, the original and then extra meshes for nicer looking computers and laptops. The fourth mod we're going to look at is something called the Gussy Up mod. So if you downloaded that, how this works is if you go to any sim, so in our case, Mr. Don Lothario, If you click on him, you now have this option called Gussy Up, and essentially it allows you to change their appearance on the spot. So if I wanted to change Don's, let's say, his hair, and you can see we have access to basically everything. So if I wanted to give him a clown hat, and let's say I wanted to give him face paint, why not? There we go, beautiful. And let's say I wanted to give him a beard. Look at that. Fancy, fancy. So yeah, it just allows you to change things on the spot. It just adds a lot of shortcut to this. The final mod we're going to look at is The Sims 2 RPC Launcher. This is by Lazy Duchess, who is absolutely amazing. I recommend checking out a bunch of her mods. But essentially this will fix a lot of issues with the game and add some new options for you. If you install it correctly, you will have two icons on your desktop here. You will have the actual launcher and the settings file. So you want to use the launcher here now instead of the original one. Now keep a backup of that just in case, but this is what you want to use now. The second icon is the settings. If I open this up here, we have this nice little application here that has a bunch of different options for us. So let's have a look. Automatic updates will essentially update the launcher by default anytime Lazy Duchess pushes out an update. We have Discord, which essentially will show what exactly you're doing in your game. Personally, I don't really use Discord that much, so I just leave it unchecked. Smooth camera rotation for a camera that's more free, kind of like in the Sims 3 and Sims 4. We have the unrestricted zodiac sign, which allows you to choose any zodiac sign without being limited to what personality points you used. The design tool cost is whenever you change something in build by, let's say you change the color of your fridge, you get charged 15 simoleons, so I usually just get rid of that completely and put it to 0. Then we have windowed mode, which is up to you which one you prefer. We have full screen, windowed, or borderless. I like playing with borderless because I usually have a browser open with my spreadsheets, cheats, etc. And it just lets me easily switch between those. Enable screenshots does exactly what it says. It enables you to take screenshots, but instead of using the C key, you want to use the print screen key. We have here a single threaded game logic, which I don't completely understand, so I usually just stay away from it, but let me know if you have tested it out. Here we have the apply 4GB patch, and this will not force, but allow your game to use up to 4GB of RAM instead of just 2. So it will help your game run better and also have less chance of running out of memory like pink soup or anything like that. Then we have automatically clean cache, which does exactly what it says. It will clear out your cache folders each time you load up your game. So this just helps with preventing any issues. In the graphics tab, we have 3 options. The first one is lot imposters. So what this does is it allows you to make the unloaded lots kind of look a bit nicer. So if you have a decent computer, I'd recommend putting it high, but personally I have noticed that I do get some pink soup issues, so I usually keep it on the classic version. Then we have the shadow option, which is exactly what it says. You can have classic, medium, or high, depending on which one you prefer, but if you're like me and you have a decent computer but not like a beastie computer, I'd recommend putting it on medium. The last one is the lot view ocean reflections. So if I show you this, we can see if it's unchecked, we have a really basic water here. But if I turn this on, we now see it actually reflects whatever is above it. So it's a really nice option there. The last tab is the expansion packs. And this essentially is similar to the Sims 3 launcher, where it allows you to choose which expansion and stuff packs you want to run when you load up your game. So let's say you don't want to play with Bon Voyage. You can leave that unchecked and that won't load up when you start your game. It is in experimental mode, so play at your own risk. Personally, I play with all the packs, so I just leave it alone. Alrighty guys, so that is the 5 essential mods that I recommend for The Sims 2 for any new players or even returning players that haven't played in a while. I highly recommend using them, and of course if you have any suggestions of other mods you can leave them down below because I'm always looking for new mods. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more Sims 2 content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!